Hey everybody out there, my name is Dragnix, and this is the November update video. You're going to get a little bit of information regarding what I'm doing with the channel, what you can expect over the next month of November, as well as a little bit more of a view behind the scenes, I guess is the best way to put it. What my personality and what my expectations for the channel will be for the month of November, as well as what I'm seeing with the channel and what I expect to do with it. November is going to be a weird month, guys. It's going to be a strange month, and I will get into exactly why that is. But overall, it will be an interesting one, and I will be definitely a little bit different based on what I've done in the past. So look forward to that, but also realize that, you know, I will be experimenting with things. But to start off this video, again, I always want to thank you guys for watching, especially people who watch on a regular basis. But, you know, every view counts, every view helps, and every subscriber helps. In terms of, you know, looking back on October and looking back on, you know, what did well and what did, you know, poorly, you know, there are some things that, you know, it was a little bit strange on what did well and what did poorly at times. But I will say that in general, I did like the fact that you guys reacted very well to the 10 strange developer game combos. I was a little concerned regarding, you know, doing a 10 list. I know that can get sort of a stigma about it, and it won't become a regular thing on the channel. This will not be a top 10 channel at this point, you know, pumping out lists left and right like a Watch Mojo. I just don't think my style really dictates that, but I also want to put the attention to detail that I've always put into. I was happy with the Strange Developer Game Combos video because I put so much attention and detail into it, and I think it showed. A lot of great comments on that, a lot of people who appreciated that, and if you're going to see me do a list like that, it's going to be something like that. It won't be a like a top 10, you know, horror games of the month or something like that. No, it'll be something more interesting. Now, of course, at the end of December, I will do, you know, the top 10 underrated games, top 10, you know, for the year, of course, because again, the December month is a little bit barren in terms of releases. Very similar to November, in fact, but I will be still focusing on the quality of stuff. I did like my Kingdom video. I know that some people didn't like it and thought I misrepresented the game or something along that lines, despite the fact that I don't think I did. Not at all. But, you know, people have their own opinions. So I respect the people who did, you know, go out and, you know, try to give me some feedback, and I appreciate it. Now, for the month of November, the preview video that I wanted to do this weekend got sort of cut off. You have to understand that, you know, obviously I do have a real life, and I do have things that I have to take care of. In particular this month, my grandmother passed away, you know, within the last year or two, about it, like I think it was actually almost a year and a half ago at this point, and we've had her house up for sale. Well, my parents needed help moving stuff, so I need to help them out, help, you know, the family out. So it sort of, you know, cut into the time that I was able to do videos, but I also was able to improve my situation here. Anybody who knows, who have been, you know, following me, I've been working with a weird setup because one of the desks that I was using, the tempered glass that I was using in terms of the desk top, shattered on me. And so I've been working with like sort of half a desk. I got my dad's old desk that was, you know, in the storage space where my grandmother's house is, so I've got a lot more room to work with. And you guys will probably see a, you know, behind the scenes video one of these days, maybe for the 1,000 subscriber or something. I do still want to set up things. I just got this in last night, so keep that in mind. You will probably be seeing what I do and what my setup looks like, because it may be a little bit different from what people expect from me. I do have a programming background, and so I do have a emphasis on, you know, monitors, for example. I like having a lot of information at my disposal, to say the least. But other than that, November, in terms of what I will be covering, you can actually find what I've been covering over at my Facebook group. And I know I'm shilling my Facebook group. I am trying to grow the channel. I will be using that to, you know, promote the channel more, as well as giving you guys some feedback in terms of what I'm looking at, what is expected over the a week or a month for the channel, as well as, you know, giving you guys information about, you know, interesting stories. You know, I work for Tech Raptor in terms of doing some, you know, background content for them, and I do think that they do some good articles that really do emphasize detail more than anything else. Part of my problem with a lot of sites, even up-and-coming sites, is that, you know, press releases are, yeah, okay, press releases. And saying a game is announced without having any detail in it, to me, is pointless, without giving some, you know, what is the game? What is the history of the game? You know, do we have any developers that, you know, we know of in the game that are famous? Things like that, you know, things that we can use to predict what the game is going to do. So I like Tech Raptor's, you know, obviously emphasis on that stuff. It's why I help them out. But, you know, there's also good articles all over the place. Even the Kotakus of the world, even the Polygons of the world, once in a while have a great article out there that does deserve your attention. I can think of the Gravity Ghost key situation for Kotaku, where the guy did a very great job of investigative journalism. Stuff that you really want to see out of the industry, where it's just like, you know, helping developers out, helping, you know, the public out in terms of, you know, exposing things like that. So that will be where you can find what I plan on looking on at the month. Like I said, November's a strange month. In terms of big AAA releases, obviously the big AAA releases are there, but on the flip side, that's not what this channel is really known for. I mean, I've done Batman Arkham Knight over at, like, you know, Tech Raptor, but in terms of this channel, I think the biggest AAA title I've done in a while is Mad Max. I did Transformers Devastation. But those are not necessarily the big AAAs. And, you know, I did not do Metal Gear Solid for a reason. I felt like it was going to get the coverage that it needed. Mad Max coming out at the same time, okay, hold on a second. Maybe it needs a little bit more attention at that point, and that's why I did it. I want to give games that need the attention more emphasis, and obviously focusing on smaller titles, as well as titles that maybe people don't expect, you know, a lot out of, but maybe interesting in their own right, is something that I would like to focus on. Big title I would say, like, this month in terms of that sort of emphasis would be Rodea the Sky Soldier. It looks like a very, very interesting aerial fighting game, and I almost felt like it was like, oh man, this looks a lot different than what I've seen. It almost seems Kid Icarus like, but I don't think that, you know, gives it the attention that it deserves. So I definitely will be taking a look at that. This month will be up and down, but I definitely will be focusing on quality content like I always do. Alright, so in terms of the channel itself, I have definitely been working in the background to try to improve stuff. I have gotten logo work done, and I think it'll be ready in the next 2 weeks. I thought it would be ready by this weekend. The artist came back and said, look, I did some more work on it that I felt it was necessary. I have paid her, you know, half the cost at this point, so I do expect it to be done relatively shortly, but I also really like where the logo is going. It really represents what I had a vision for, and I feel like it does do the justice of, you know, sort of the odd, you know, my name, you know, sort of fused with the gaming section of things. So I will really like to see what people react to on it, and I really do think it sort of emphasizes what I feel my representation of the character of Dragnix, if you can call it that, is. So I, you know, look forward to that. That will be coming shortly. In terms of the channel over the last month, you know, it's been an up and down struggle. I will say that the emphasis on what I saw as a success with the strange developer game combos, as well as Kingdom, really did emphasize the quality aspect that I wanted to. I put more time into Kingdom than I had on any other game that I had done in this in that format for this month. Obviously, I put a little bit of effort into Transformers review. I put effort into, like, Kaiju Panic. I put effort in all my videos, but I definitely played a lot more Kingdom than everything else that I worked on, and I think it showed. Obviously, people still didn't have, you know, 100% confidence in what I was saying. People did point out that, you know, they didn't think I was, you know, representing the game fairly, and especially in the Steam reviews, but I felt like I did the game justice. I felt like I emphasized where I thought the game did have problems, and, you know, that's what I'm here for. You know, I'm not going to say, you know, unless if it's a game like, you know, Alone in the Dark, Illumination, for example, I'm not going to say, you know, don't buy that game no matter what, but, you know, I'm going to say, look, you know, if you don't like this kind of game, you know, you're not going to like this game. You know, don't bother with it or get it on sale or something like that. I'm very cost-minded in terms of that. I understand unlike some other channels that I've seen where it's just like, you know, buy this game, buy that game, buy that game. I mean, I understand that, you know, people have a budget for this stuff. They can't just go and buy, you know, X, Y, and Z. And so that's why the review system that I use is in place. That's why I'm very cost sensitive in terms of, hey, look, you know, this game may be for you down the line, but it's one of those things where it's just like, you know, you can't give a positive review on every game in question. And I've seen that on a couple of channels that really bother me, where they're struggling to give an emphasis to, you know, what the game does well, when it's obviously that they're struggling to actually say something positive about it. As to the personal side of things, this has been an interesting month in terms of myself. In terms of, you know, my emphasis on still wanting to do the YouTube and still wanting to do this stuff, but being more cautious of the fact that I gotta get this working, obviously. In terms of not necessarily finances, but just, you know, being more confident in what I'm doing and, you know, throwing myself out there in more ways than I've been maybe necessarily wanting to. I mean, I'm still obviously learning. I'm still obviously concerned. And my personality has never been a person like, look at me. Never look at me and what I'm doing and, you know, trying to take the center of attention away from other people, except in a joking like manner. But obviously you got to do that in this, you know, field to succeed. And it's really been a weird month just to see what is, you know, transpired. And like, you know, being someone who feels that morals and ethics, you know, make a huge difference in terms of who you are, and then seeing people succeed, obviously, when they obviously don't have an emphasis on that, is really, it can be nerve-wracking. It can really be very, very nerve-wracking. Seeing stuff like yesterday, the Halo 5 embargo was breached very early by a blog, I don't want to say a blogging site, but a next-gen gaming blog that bought a copy of the game that before its street date. And obviously it wasn't a review copy, but they got, you know, one of the first reviews out there because they went around the system. And that's the kind of stuff that drives me insane. Obviously they got the attention because of the fact that they were one of the first to, you know, put the review out there, but they obviously broke the system as it is, and it's really irritating. It's really irritating when you play by the rules, when you play by what is expected of you, that people who don't, you know, obviously there are times that rules don't make sense. There are times that rules don't help the consumer. But in this case, you know, embargoes do serve a purpose. I feel people misunderstand where embargoes really do truly help the industry in terms of, you know, quality of reviews and things like that. So it's stuff like that and stuff like, you know, YouTubers obviously not disclosing information. I saw the Assassin's Creed Syndicate videos. Everybody was making them, and then noticing that, you know, half of them didn't have sponsored content, even though the game hadn't come out yet. And me sitting there going, huh, yeah, that's not right. It's really irritating, and it's really frustrating because I want to make sure that, you know, hey, I'm doing things by the book. I'm doing things so that the consumer knows what they can expect from me and what they can expect out of a honest opinion about a game like this. And will I get to a point that, you know, I will take a sponsored deal at times? Yeah, I will, probably, if I keep this up. But you guys will know that, and it will not affect coverage. It will probably be something completely unrelated to reviews. It'll probably be just like a Let's Play type of thing where I'm enjoying a game that I feel still needs to, you know, hit certain emphasis on, you know, quality and things like that. But it will never be a situation where, you know, my opinion is my opinion. I don't care what kind of money you throw at me. It's not going to change. And if I ever hit that point, I feel like I've already done the game a disservice, and gaming has been too close to me to really go against that. So there have been a lot of concerns from YouTubers lately, and I do appreciate those concerns because I do have those concerns as well. The whole YouTube Red thing and the whole situation around that is scary because of the fact that YouTube, like pretty much every corporation that's out there right now, doesn't give a lot of information. And it's scary because, you know, YouTube in particular, you're your bread and butter is your content creators. Without your content creators, you're not much of anything. And the fact that you're not giving information to your content creators is scary. Like, I mean, we talk about things like, the Anno 2205 and, people canceling the pre-order bonuses and things like that, and pre-orders in themselves. But there's still markets for people like that. But when you're talking about like the YouTube Red thing and the bread and butter of your sales and the bread and butter of what makes that website work is your content creators, and they're all in the dark about what's going on, that's a really, really scary thing to think about. And we've seen now new reports about content being censored and things like that, and it is not a good time to be a YouTuber, actually. And it's a little bit scary because, again, I took a successful software engineering career and threw it out the window, per se, and went to this. I still feel like that was the right move. I was miserable in where I was as a software engineer. Could that have changed if I went to a different place? It could have. But what I noticed, especially in the corporate world, is that it doesn't matter if you do things right. It doesn't matter if you are the bastion, is that the word I'm looking for? The bastion of honor and respect and integrity that you would expect from people. It doesn't matter. All it matters is the bottom line, regardless of whether or not it's underhanded to get there. And that really scared me. The fact is that, I was honest with the customer, and I was told I was being too honest with the customer, that I had to, bend the truth. No, I don't see the purposes of bending the truth. And in particular, when I was completely openly honest, the customer reacted a lot better, because guess what? People react better to the truth. People react better. They may not like it at that very moment, but in the end, I feel like they will, react over time better because you're being honest with them. It is a scary thought that, people want to hide the truth from people just because it may hurt their feelings. That's not how you get ahead in this world. That's how you go backwards in this world. And I feel like it's really scary. It was that moment where I really realized, this isn't going to work, that I had to get out of there. And even with my still love of software engineering as a whole, it's something that has sort of tainted that. And when I went into this, I can be honest with people. I can be open with people about what I see about games. And yeah, will there be people questioning what I do? Of course there will. There always will be. But I know myself that I've been doing the content that I have been creating justice, in my opinion. And I will make mistakes. I will make mistakes where I miss something or things like that. But at least I know it's on me. So it is a scary time at this point, and I even may consider, what I have to do financially in order to keep this going over a long period of time. Obviously, there's the Patreon model. I see the benefits of that. I won't be doing that, in the months of November and December. It does make sense, but I have considered it like at the start of the new year. I do want to give you guys more content, or better quality content, while still being able to do this as a living, because right now, again, like I said, this isn't making a living. But in the end, it's all about the games, and it's all about giving you guys what you expect out of this channel. And I hope I can continue to do that. All right, so that's it for now. You can expect a little bit more of this kind of personal stuff. Maybe I will make a like a silly Friday or video in terms of just playing around with things. But expect more out of the channel, and I hope you guys appreciate the content for the next month at this point. All right, I'll see you all later. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like this content and want to see more of it, you may want to hit that subscribe button on the left-hand side. If you like this video and want to see more of this content, take a look at this video on the left-hand side as well. And if you missed my last video, take a look at the right-hand side. Once again, thanks for watching, and keep on gaming.